Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how we made the 15-year-old black paint on the E55 AMG look like this. And comment down below on what it looks like, because the shot you just saw was filmed in the future. I have no idea what future E55 looks like. Now, if you guys have always thought that this car looks pretty good on camera, you are correct. The E55 films very well, but the reality of the world is that the paint and clear coat on this car is not in the best of condition. As you can see, it is heavily swirled and scratched up in certain areas, and there are generally just a lot of impurities in the clear coat. So when the guys at Chicago Auto Pro reached out and said,
I haven't been thinking about horsepower at all because this car looks so freaking good. Okay, so
Alex, hey man, it's Mike from Chicago Auto Pros. How are you? Listen, I watched your latest video with the E55 over at the dyno. Great numbers, but hey, I just gotta cut to the chase, man. Your paint looks like crap. I see tons of swirl marks. I see tons of scratches. I think we can help you out. So would you be down to bring your car by for a ceramic coating and paint correction?
I said yes. Actually, I said hell yes, as long as I can film kind of a sped up time lapse showing you guys exactly what goes on behind the scenes of a super high-end professional detail. And guys, something like this, what you're gonna see over the course of just a few minutes is over 30 hours of combined labor, and this could cost upwards of $2,000 to $3,000 depending on the condition of your car. And this has been something that I've always been so curious about. I've never had any kind of paint correction work done on any of my cars, so I'm so excited to kind of see exactly how they do this, learn a few things, and I might actually try to do some of this work myself. So guys, sit back, relax, grab a beer, grab a pop, or whatever you're into, and enjoy the video. Now, the first step in any good paint correction and detail is a good old car wash, but this took it to a whole new level. It starts off normal with the wheels, cleaning the faces, the barrels, the calipers, and the wheel wells. After that, they basically made love to all the little nooks and crannies of the E55 using a little brush and a lot of time. This time lapse doesn't do justice to the amount of work they put into the little tiny details. Next, they sprayed the entire car down with some special pH balanced car soap and went to town with some microfiber mitts. They had 3 guys on the car for what felt like forever, and considering this was the first step, I was really impressed. Next was paint decontamination using a product called Iron X. Now, I had never heard of this before, and luckily the owner Jason was here to explain exactly what this product does and teach me a neat new trick. Oh, and by the way, all the products that you see used in today's video will be linked in the description box down below. Okay, Jason's gonna show us exactly what the deal is with Iron X, because all I know at this point is that the stuff stinks, but supposedly it does what? It removes the impurities out of the clear coat?
Yeah, so you have above surface contaminants on your vehicle. Even though we washed it, it doesn't take a lot of the stuff off. You can have sap, tar, you can have iron particles. A lot of times the brakes will have iron particles that'll embed themselves into the clear coat.
And now when you apply this, are you going to let it sit and kind of...
Yep, we let it dwell for a couple minutes, and that's going to dissolve all the iron particles.
Okay, and if you guys want to know a cool trick on how you can figure out how horrible your paint is, Jason is going to show me a plastic bag trick, as we'll call it.
So put your hand in there.
All right.
Face down. And now you can feel the roughness to your paint.
Guys, I know you can't feel this, but it is seriously, it's like sandpaper.
Yeah.
It's literally like sandpaper. So that is awesome. And that's all going to get fixed during the polishing, buffing, and
so we'll Iron X it, and then we'll clay bar it, and it's going to make that paint really smooth.
Right, and then at that point, we're ready for polishing and whatnot. Awesome. Plastic bag trick. The guys went to town with the Iron X, spraying it all over the E55, and then we let it sit for about 5 minutes. This stuff kind of turns a little bit cloudy, and it actually rinses off the car with a little tint of purple to it. It's pretty cool. So after we rinsed the car completely, we were ready for the clay bar, and this is where I got to hop in and do a little bit of this work myself. The guys use normal car soap and water as a lubricant for the clay bar, and as you can see, just after a few passes on the hood, the clay bar has already removed a ton of dirt and contaminants from the clear coat of the car. Now, anyone can do this. This is a very easy process. It's a little bit time consuming, but as long as you keep everything well lubricated, you're good to go. A clay bar is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bar of clean clay, and when you rub it on the surface of your car, it lifts all the impurities from the pores of the clear coat. After cleaning the entire car, we're almost ready for polishing until one of the guys finds some defects in the body of the E55. When you're getting a ceramic coating and paint correction done, you want to look over the car for dents. Now, I thought this car only had a couple of dents. You can kind of see a big one right there, and there are a couple on the hood as well. Again, kind of hard to see, but they're in this area. But of course, Dennis from DennisDoesDents found a bunch more dents and pointed out a bunch of other flaws with my car. So if you guys offend easily on the condition of your car, don't have a dent guy look at it, because he will find every single imperfection. Dennis, please stop finding dents with my car. All right, guys, all the dents have been removed from the E55, and paintless dent removal always amazes me. You can't even tell where the dent was. I think it was somewhere in this area. So major shout out to Dennis from DennisDoesDents. You can check out his Facebook and Instagram, and I'll leave a link down below and where you can see all the other before and after pictures of all the dents that he pulled out on the E55, and there were actually quite a few. I thought the car only had 2, and Dennis found, I think, about 5 of them, but they are all gone now, and we are ready to get to polishing. The polishing or buffing procedure starts off with a heavy compound and a more aggressive pad in order to correct the deep scratches, swirl marks, and clear coat defects. The guys work in about a 2x2 area at a time, and they don't leave until that section is as perfect as it can be. After making about 5 passes with the polisher, they'll wipe away the compound, inspect with a light, and polish again if needed. This is the part of the job that takes the most time and the most skill, and with heavy compounds comes heat, and with heat comes the risk of burning through your paint. Now, not all painted surfaces are created equally. Some manufacturers will use a harder or a softer paint and more or less clear coat. In order to give the detailer an idea of how aggressive they can go with the compound, they'll not only check the temperature of the surface, but they'll also measure the thickness of the clear coat using a special tool. And what's important to mention here is that the clear coat can actually be thicker or thinner depending on which panel you measure. So you can see here we're getting 98 micrometers, and we'll go over to the hood, and as you can see we're at 126. It gives the detailer kind of an idea of how much they can use the compound and how aggressive they can work the compound.
This tells me how much room I have to work, how much pressure I can use, how much times I can pass through the same area, and when the number tells me like I still have plenty enough room for me to work and correct the hood.
Awesome.
Like a trunk 98, that's already I have to be very, very careful with this area, not to push it to the limits.
Awesome. Cool.
Right.
Do not burn my paint, please.
We'll try not.
After the guys are done using the aggressive compound on the entire car, they'll move on to the final stage, which is polishing the car with a much finer polish and a less aggressive pad. This is what's going to make the clear coat transparent and really make the paint shine and have a deep, wet, glossy look. What I wanted to show you guys in this clip is the difference between the finished final product versus what the surface looked like originally. So we taped off a small section of the fender, and one of the detailers did both steps on one side, and then we pulled the tape away. And as you can tell, the difference is night and day. Now that you can see completely past the clear coat, you can actually see the beautiful paint underneath, and it almost looks like a completely different color now. All right, guys, so it's the next day, and all the compounding is done. All the big scratches are out. It's time to move on to polishing. And this is a part of the job that I actually want to try out, because it's really hard to burn through the paint when you're polishing, right?
Yes.
And that's what freaks me out. The compounding part freaks me out, and I'm an amateur at best at all this work. So Jason's gonna give us a quick tutorial, and then I'm gonna try and polish out this part of the trunk, and then everyone's gonna judge my work. First thing I wanted to tell you guys was, if you have a brand new pad, you have to prime the pad, so they rub whatever the compound or the polish you're using into the pad. And then from there, we're just gonna do a couple, like 2 little dabs,
Yep.
right? Okay.
So put 2 little dabs on there.
I've been watching these guys all day. Whoa, that's probably way too big. All right, there we
That's
go.
all right, we can work with that.
Okay.
Now, first thing you're gonna do is put the cord over your shoulder.
Right,
We don't
right,
want
right.
that to drag on the vehicle.
All right, good point, good point. And you said we're gonna be working in a pretty small section.
2x2 section. You
Okay,
want
so
like
just
a
like
shoulder
the
length.
compounding.
Yep.
And just like I showed you guys in the time lapse, they don't leave a section until it's totally done. So we might do this a couple times. So anyway, this is variable speed, right?
Yes, so I already have it set on speed.
Oh, okay.
So you can put the machine
Oh yeah,
right on the vehicle.
Okay, all right.
Before we start it, you want to have that, that
So
pump pad on there.
all the detailing that I've done, I just go nuts. I just go circles, whatever. I have no idea what I'm doing. So this is actually
So we're not doing
kinda
circles
nice. Okay,
here.
no
what
circles.
you want to do, you want to start in one section. We're going to go back and forth, overlapping passes.
Okay.
And we're going to work in like a grid-like section, and you're going to go
Cool.
5 and 5.
Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna count 5 total passes in this area, right?
Yep.
And I'm not putting really much pressure into this at
No,
all.
not a whole lot of pressure.
Okay.
So actually, we have a little black line. You can see it going around.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yep. If you're pressing
Okay.
too hard, you're going to bog down that head, and
Right.
it's not going to spin. And we want that spinning action to do.
Right. Okay,
with the
so
work.
if you get stuck in a spot for too long, you're gonna see this black line. You're not gonna see it on camera right now, but you'll see a black line just kind of stop, and that means you need to get going. That is really nice. And this is a, what tool are we working with here?
That is a Rupes LRH Mark II machine.
All right, something tells me that it's a lot better than the Harbor Freight crap that I've been using.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now next I'm gonna copy exactly what you guys have been doing. I'm gonna do this. And I don't know what you're doing exactly, but it looks cool.
We're actually checking for heat when we compound.
Okay.
That's a byproduct of when you're compounding.
And
You're not going to get too much heat when you're
Oh yeah, it's
polishing,
totally,
so.
okay, fine. So we don't need to do it right now, right? Damn it, so I don't look professional at all. I look like an idiot. All right, so we wiped it away. I gotta say, this looks pretty amazing. And guys, it's hard to catch on camera, but the difference between the polish side and just the compound side, it's a big difference. You can see, that looks pretty good, right?
That looks perfect.
I mean, you can't see any scratches at all. Try to get this on camera. All right, so I'm quitting YouTube. I'm actually gonna be starting here, what, on Monday? All right, so I'm pretty sure you have to have OCD to be a professional detailer. These guys are completely done polishing the car. For me, it looks perfect, but they bring it outside into the sunlight because you can't hide anything from the sun, and they do a complete inspection on the car again, and then they actually have another person who hasn't done any of the paint correction work inspect the car as well, because when you're doing the work yourself, and you're staring at the same paint all day, you might miss a few spots, so they have kind of a third-party inspection, and then they will bring it back in and correct any areas that have any scratches or swirls or any defects. So I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks absolutely amazing as is, and it's gonna look even better once we get it into the clean room for the ceramic coating. All right guys, we're in the clean room with the E55 and we're almost at the end. The guys have already ceramic coated about half of the car, and if you guys don't know what a ceramic coating is, you can kind of think of it as a sacrificial layer above the clear coat, protecting your car from UV rays, chemicals, impurities, dirt, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll leave some links down below if you want to learn all about it. The guys at Chicago Auto Pros have some excellent videos on how to install this and how to choose the proper ceramic coating for your car. So right now I'm up, I gotta go ceramic coat the trunk lid of the car, and these guys are gonna show me how to do it, and I'm gonna show you guys as well. All right guys, the ball is in my court. These guys have kind of handed me the keys to ceramic coating a very important part of the E55, which is the top of the trunk lid. So they already showed me how to do it on that side, and now I'm gonna show you guys how to apply this style ceramic coating. It's a little bit different than the stuff I've used in other videos where you kind of just wipe it on and wipe it off. So in this case, we're just using distilled water. And also we already ceramic coated from about the middle of the Mercedes star over, and we don't want to overlap that. So we're gonna be kind of careful. I'll spray a little bit of the water like this, and we just want to get it, that's probably enough, right? Yep. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna use just a microfiber sponge, and this little tiny bottle right here will cover the entire car. And let's see, sorry, I don't want to lose any of this stuff, is expensive. And we're just gonna do what, a couple like lines like this I saw you guys
right
do?
on the top.
Oh, right on the top? Okay, so we'll concentrate it in like one area. All right, here's like a lot of money worth of ceramic coating. Okay, so now if I remember correctly from a few minutes ago, we're gonna do kind of like a square like we did, sort of like when we were polishing. So
Yep.
We're just gonna kind of wipe this on. Wow, you can feel like the resistance.
Oh, it's sticky.
Yeah, it's very sticky. And these guys go back and forth in different directions in order to fill the pores of the clear coat. And if I mess this up, it's on my car, so it doesn't matter. And then we're gonna go back this way, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't forget the lip.
Don't forget the, oh, you guys, oh, right. Don't want to forget my lip. And you probably want to do this a lot quicker than I'm doing it because this stuff cures pretty quickly. It's pretty humid out right now. So at this point, we're good, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll hand you that. And this is a wet microfiber, and we're gonna use this gently to wipe away the ceramic coating. And we wanna get this off, again, kind of quickly at this point, right?
Yeah.
What happens if you were to leave it on for too long?
It's there permanently, and you would have to.
You'll kind of see it?
Yeah, you would have to recompound everything to get it off, depending on how thick it was. If you leave it very thick,
okay, so now
you probably have to end up wet.
Now I'm rushing here. So now we just have a dry microfiber, and we're gonna go ahead and wipe the rest of the ceramic coating off. Is this the worst job you guys have ever seen, or what? I know, I think
It's tough because when you start going over on this section, you start smearing everything.
Right.
So we'll save you over here real quick.
I messed up.
And that's the biggest thing, is making sure that you get all this coating off, because if you don't get it all off, you leave a high spot, and that's coating left over that's sitting on the surface of the vehicle.
Okay.
And it's gonna look really bad. It's basically like clear coat or super glue that's dried to your clear coat, and it's really hard to get off.
Okay, so have you guys totally saved me here? It looks pretty good.
You're good.
Yeah, well, good.
All right, so as these guys finish up the coating on the E55, I just wanted to briefly show you guys the product that we're using. And you guys might remember the Armor Shield 9 that I used in a previous ceramic coating video that I made. This is an excellent DIY product. It's only 45 bucks with a coupon code linked down below. And this little tiny bottle here will cover the entire car. This is a very easy application. You just wipe it on and wipe it off. And you don't need as much prep work with something like this. It's kind of marketed to the masses as a really nice, kind of less expensive entry-level ceramic coating. Similar to bringing your car to a mechanic, you don't want to bring your own tools and you don't want to bring your own parts. So in this case, and in the case of a lot of high-end professional paint correction and detailing shops, they'll use a Modesta lineup of ceramic coatings. This stuff is much more expensive, but it also lasts a lot longer as opposed to the 2 to 3 years you'll get out of the Armor Shield. We're going to get about 10 years if maintained properly with this style ceramic coating. And they make it obviously for the paint, but you can also ceramic coat the glass with this bottle here, the leather, and also the wheels. So the entire E55 will be protected for many, many more years to come. So let's finish up the ceramic coating and we'll show you guys the final product outside. The E55 is complete, and guys, I don't even know what to say. This thing looks so good. I have the biggest smile on my face. The amount of work that the guys at Chicago Auto Pros put into this car really shows. There are no dents in the car anymore. The paint correction went perfectly. Now you can really see the obsidian black paint pop where you can see a metallic flake. Before, this was kind of masked by kind of a dull clear coat with a lot of impurities, but especially now with the ceramic coating, you can really tell that this car has that metallic type of paint job on it, which to me makes it so much more unique. I absolutely love it. This is something I'd been looking for when I was shopping for one of these cars for the longest time, and now I can kind of enjoy it a little bit more. But just take a look at how nice this thing looks. And obviously we have now the E63 front bumper, so it's obviously a respray, and now with the paint correction it matches a lot better than it did. It almost looks perfect, like the paint on there matches the hood and the fenders like it should. So we have ceramic coated everything, the wheels, the glass, obviously the paint, oh, and the guys detailed the interior on the car, so that looks amazing as well. And stay tuned for a future video. I have an awesome flat bottom Alcantara wrapped steering wheel that is going in the E55. But for now, let's take one last look at this thing. Yeah. I seriously just cannot believe that this is my car. An E55 has been like a dream car for me for many, many years, and now that I have one that looks like this, I'm just kind of speechless. I just want to give a huge thank you to these guys right here. They did practically all the work. I did maybe, what, about 0.5% of it?
Yeah.
I helped a little bit, but these guys put their blood, sweat, and tears into the car. It looks amazing. Definitely check out the video description box down below, Chicago Auto Pros, for all of your detailing needs. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the thumbs up button. Follow these guys on Instagram, on YouTube, on social media. Like the video, share the video. I don't even know what to say, guys. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you all in the next video.